All right, let's kick off the National Hour on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. We are live on Sportsnet, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver and Sportsnet 960 in Calgary. This hour, Real Kyper and Bourne, brought to you by Bet365. No hesitation now, man, because we are just crammed.
Here we go.
Elliotte Friedman, Hockey Night in Canada, 32 thoughts. Kicking off the second round, Elliotte.
Wait. I got to tell you, I listened to the last hour.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm surprised there's anything left of you guys to do another hour. That was one intense hour.
Oh, my
What's
gosh.
great now is we can just hand the ball to you and let you run, Freach.
Holy smokes.
Exit meetings for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Never a dull moment.
No. I mean, you know, I don't know how you guys feel, but I just think that the more I think about it, it's not going to happen the way we all think. There is going to
the
be
Sammy McKee way, where you just fire everybody right away.
Whether or not that happens, there's going to be something that they do or something that pops up that none of us are going to see coming. There's going to be a curveball here.
So you had mentioned in your 32 thoughts that you thought maybe that the MLSE could eliminate the president's jobs of basketball and hockey.
I didn't say like I don't like to touch the basketball stuff because I really don't know it as well as I did years ago. But I do think that is one thing that has been discussed is the possibility that it's a GM who reports directly to Pelly.
So that would eliminate Brendan Shanahan, you're saying entirely.
I'm saying that it would eliminate his role if they choose to move on from Shanahan. I do think, I mean, look, like you guys work for Rogers, I work for Rogers. We know this company. And I will say this, I was told today across ownership, there is not unanimity in that belief, but it has been something, as we talked about, it has been something that's been discussed is do they need this extra layer, this highly paid extra layer of management?
And do you think then that they would wait for a decision like that to make the concurrent decisions, whether it be on the coach or a trade of someone who makes a lot of money?
Well, look, I look at it this way. Like I don't think you should be making any decisions on Brendan Shanahan based on what you think of the position. You're keeping or not keeping Brendan Shanahan based on you think how he's done the job. I think if they decide that they're not going to keep Brendan Shanahan, I'm curious to see if they keep the position. And again, as I was told today, that has been discussed, is do they need that role? But look, I mean, you're not going to be making any big moves in the near future anyway, so you have time. But, you know, watching that Keefe media conference today, man, like I'm a human being. That was a tough media conference to watch. When you hear that a coach has kind of been given the option of do you want to be part of the exit interviews or not? Like, you guys have been around. You guys both played at a high level. Like, what do you think what does that mean to you?
I think it's pretty clear what it means.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a decision that's been made there on Sheldon, but maybe they do want to wait to see maybe the new president, or if they did hire one, would say, I actually really like the guy. Why would we get rid of him? He's better than who's available, you know?
Well, I think that's actually, if you remember, go back to last year, that's kind of what True Living did. When he got hired, he looked around, he spoke with Sheldon, but he looked around and he kind of thought that the other options that were out there were not as good as Keefe. You know I'm in the minority on this one. I really heard this today. I thought, considering everything that happened this year, Keefe did actually a pretty good job.
I agree.
Now, I think they had this kind of year at the wrong time. Like, people don't want to hear anymore. They overcame injuries on defense, didn't goal. People are just like, they lost again in the first round. That's all I care about. I think if Keefe goes somewhere else, I think he'll do well. But I looking at him today and listening to him today, it struck me as a guy who thinks that his runway here is over.
Do you think if there's a chance that they do get rid of a Brendan or the president role, that they just happily go to Brad Tree Living now and just have Brad report to Keith Pelly?
I think that's a possibility. I think that's one of the things they discussed. But like I said today, Nick, someone told me today that they don't think the entire ownership is unanimous on that idea, but there are some people who think.
Are we talking Bell and Rogers
and Tannenbaum? Like,
but Larry's on his way out.
But he's still there, and he's still there, and he's still got a voice. I was just told it's not unanimous, but it has been discussed. It has been like
Larry's still there dapping up the boys after wins.
yeah, like
he's in it.
like Keith Pelly, and as someone else said to me, like he is the president of MLSC and he likes to be involved, but it is a big job. So we'll see where they go. But I think all of these different options are on the table.
Question, and I know this is a bit of a curveball. We'll bring it back in one sec. But the Keefe thing, there's all the rumors about Dubas in Pittsburgh and what's going on. Like he wanted to fire an assistant, and they got rid of one, I believe. But
Mike
Sullivan
Targaryen.
and him, maybe we're at odds.
I don't think Mike Sullivan's going anywhere.
No Sheldon Keefe to Pittsburgh.
And I don't think Cooper's going anywhere either.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Nick. Boy, Julian Brisebois certainly looked like he slammed the door on that last week.
Yes.
But I don't believe Sullivan's going anywhere. I know that I had one guy who called me on the weekend and says, okay, here's my prediction. It's Sullivan to New Jersey, it's Berube to Toronto, and it's Keefe to Pittsburgh. And I'm like, I understand why that makes sense to a lot of people, but I'm under the impression that Sullivan and Dubas, for however they may have felt about the assistant coaches, I've heard they're on the same page about going together.
There is a sense that Ottawa went a little cheap with Travis Green. Maybe takes Berube out.
I don't think Berube is going to Ottawa. I heard on the weekend.
No. It's
it's going to be Green. It's going to be Green.
But Berube would be looking at 5 times 5.
I can tell you, Sens fans are not happy.
I saw that today. I guess I think I've learned over the years that I've seen coaching hires that were widely praised and turned out to be a disaster, and I've seen coaching hires that were panned and turned out to be really good.
Yeah.
I think Travis Green. I think he's a better hire for Ottawa than I think some of the people are giving credit
I agree
for.
with you there, yeah.
I think that
I like Travis.
I like
I do
Travis,
too. I
and
think
I'll
he's
tell
a
you
good
this:
coach.
Travis can be, and I say this positively, Travis can be a bit of a prick, and they need that there.
But I feel like in Ottawa, there was a sense when you got the new owners spent all this money and that they were going to be an in the limelight team and they'd get a name. They'd get, not that Travis isn't a name, but Berube right now is the sexy big name or someone that, they would feel inspired by. I don't feel like they're inspired.
Could the push on Keith out quickly be because they're in a race for Berube with New Jersey?
Nick, I do believe that. I believe that New Jersey has real interest in Berube, and if Toronto wants him, they better get moving. I agree. I do believe.
What about that New Jersey job? You think like a Jay Woodcroft might be an option there? Or?
I've heard they've spoken to a ton of people.
Yeah.
I just think, and I've been saying this for a couple days, and eventually I'm going to be right about this. If you want Craig Berube, you better make the call.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have multiple people.
There has to be a reason why Berube's waited this long. I think it was to wait for Toronto.
You see the awkward biz question on TNT the other night?
Yeah. I got to tell you, I would not. Did you ever fight Berube? Did you ever fight him?
Bill McCreary saved my life one time.
Did you ever receive punches from Berube? That's what we're asking.
He was coming after me 1,000 miles an hour, and Bill McCreary just turns around and he throws him out of the game and suspends him 10 games.
Oh my!
For coming off the bench.
Really?
Beautiful.
Oh,
I'm like, boy, Bill, you saved me.
If he ever gave me that look, I'd go running as far as I can.
And we were teammates in Hershey.
I got, like Nick, I've seen you interact with him before. I would defer to you on this one. You guys were peers. You know each other better. I got to think, put it this way. I got to think he would be very intrigued by the Devils because I think a lot of people think the Devils are on the cusp of something big. But, someone said to me today, do you think that Toronto is really a good job? I said, absolutely I do, because the rewards are
I know.
enormous.
We've all been there. We've all been there. Everybody talks about, hey, you want to win a cup here.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, it doesn't happen for a lot of us. But, I will say this, that it's not for everybody, though.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This market is not for everybody. And it's tricky. And as Sheldon found out over the years, it's calculated what you want to say, when you want to say it, how you want to say it, because you got guys like you and Sammy critiquing every last second, and I got to put up with it daily. But that's it's a tough job.
Yeah.
But it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody, but if I was good enough to be an NHL coach, I would love to be the coach of Toronto Maple Leafs.
Do you think that a new president or a new authority figure in management would make it easier to go to John Tavares and Mitch Marner and talk about their no trade clauses?
No, I don't. And here's why. Someone called me today and they brought up a good point. And I wish I would have remembered this. First of all, with Marner, he's represented by Darren Ferris. Darren Ferris's history is I take my guys right to unrestricted free agency. That's his philosophy, and he does that in a lot of cases. You heard what Mitch Marner said today. Ultimately, like, he was given the no move clause, and he can use it as he sees fit. If the Maple Leafs want to play hardball with him and say, okay, that's your choice, but you're not going to get the 8th year here, and you're not going to get the same offer. I think one of the things that the Maple Leafs have to prove, Justin, is that they can hardball somebody in a negotiation. That hasn't always happened, and that's been an issue for them. But, like, the thing is, if Marner, like, if I know Darren, and I've dealt with him a lot over the years, he's going to tell Marner, you go right to free agency. Yeah. That's what I believe. That's what you do.
What a year that would be.
And, the only thing for Marner that I know people got upset by his quote today about, I don't even know what it was exactly. It doesn't bother me either. And you know what? In a lot of ways, like, Marner should be a guy. Like, you would think if it worked out properly, he should be a god in this town. It's like, he's a Toronto kid who's playing for the Leafs. He cares a lot. I know people think he doesn't try. I think that's BS. I think his problem is that he's wired too tight, to be honestly, in the playoffs. But I think he does care, and I think he does try. For me, the biggest question is, if I was around him, I would just be asking, do you really, do you think, is it worth going through all of this again? Because it you can see the frustration, and you see how much it hurts him. I just wonder about that.
I can appreciate Darren Ferris wanting to be an agent that wants to take him to but it doesn't have to be that way. You could speed up the process. We know he's looking for a raise. Yep. We know he's a legitimate 100-point guy every year.
Yep.
The number is the number, right? The cap's going up.
Yep.
You tell me what the number is, Elliotte, for a guy like his stature. Is it 12?
He's going to want at least
12
Willie.
and a half?
He's going to want at least Willie.
11 and a half, 12.
12, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I can tell you right now, I know there's teams out there that have already put calls in for Mitch Marner.
I believe that.
Right?
I believe that.
So you don't need to wait another year. He's not getting his money here. The Leafs won't stroke a check for $100 million for the next 8 years. Mm-hmm. So go and do the deal now.
Yeah.
And he'll happily take the 8 years off a new team.
And I think if you look at
the deal's this summer for Mitch Marner.
You know what? And I agree with you, because if Toronto wanted to play hardball, they would say you're not getting that 8th year here. Yeah. The thing is, and Nick, and you know this, and this is part of me, what part of the problem is with this whole situation, is that the egos get involved. And there needs to be somebody here that if...
Whose ego?
Like, I think there's egos of the...
Not Mitch?
For what? For what? He's going to get his money. He's going to get it somewhere.
Well, but the thing is, like, don't you think there's a little bit of this is, I'm not going to let them force me out. I'm going to do this on my own terms.
Well, he's not going to go to a team he doesn't want to go to when he's a year away from unrestricted free agency.
But if the decision is we're going to wait a year and not go anywhere until then.
But it makes no sense, Elliotte, if he gets the number that he wants from a team that he wants to play for.
Okay, but at this point in time, I don't believe they've shown any interest in doing that.
The Leafs?
No. The Marner.
Oh, but that's a formality.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, it's a formality.
When it comes to Marner, I trust you 100%.
If he
You're closer to that than I am.
If he gets a number from a place that he can envision him being in the next 8 years, the deal gets done this summer.
So the Leafs would have to be open to letting teams negotiate with Darren Ferris.
100%.
Yeah, I think they would.
100%. It's open. It's open.
And
like, figure out the teams that would trade for him, which are the teams that could sign him long term, and which are the teams that interest him.
Yeah, give us a list.
That's it.
Well, sure. That's literally what I have here.
But to this point, and I will, again, Nick, I will defer to you on this one. To this point, they've shown no interest in doing that. And I think that that's what I would do. If I was the Maple Leafs, I would go to him and say, look, where do you want to go? Yeah. And
we'll do whatever we can to make this deal
100%.
happen.
You know, you look at teams who would want offense, who might have something to trade, who are competitive. You think of a team like Nashville, a team like Vegas could have potentially say, You want a guy, Carolina,
Justin,
Islanders.
I think there would be 29 teams looking at him.
The more I've thought about it, I would give Mitch Marner the money you're talking about.
It won't be hard to find, I think, a deal.
11.5. Yeah.
And now here's the other part of that, and this is a very big part of that, guys. Last summer, when they had Willie out there before they signed him, they told people they were not losing this deal.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting a defenseman that they considered equal to Nylander's status as a forward, or they weren't making it. Do you think the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I would be if I was in their shoes because I could sell it as creating the cap room, the Maple Leafs will have to be willing potentially to lose a Marner deal?
Yeah, and I think when you say lose a Marner deal, it maybe you're not factoring in the value of the space you get and what you do with it. Right?
That's what I mean.
So you trade the guy and you get back, it's a defenseman and it's whatever, a 20-goal guy. You say, we got worse. But then you're left with another $5 million to spend and you add another player. So cap space is a weapon. It is an asset that you can turn into a player. So you can justify it to yourself that way if you can't go.
Well, that's how you do justify it. But I think last year when they were talking about this, they didn't like that idea.
Right. Yeah.
Now they're going to have to be more interested in that idea. But
the harder one for me is maybe going to your captain and saying, you got to help us out here.
I can't see any way he does it.
But just wouldn't it be a miserable experience for him? I understand that. I agree. I don't think he would either. He's from here. He's got family here. I'm sure he'd love to be here longer. All these things.
He can still play. He can still score 60 points.
He's still he had a huge amount. People I understand he may not be an $11 million guy anymore, but it's only one more year at that number, and he's still.
But you need the space. You could use that space too.
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can't come back with all four of them. So the question is, does Marner allow you the flexibility if you want to go down that road? And if not, then what do you do?
You could revisit Tavares by next trade deadline too, if you want to upgrade.
You're going to say, hey, for 2 months, will you go play for Chicago? And we'll do this, whatever, have you back. I know that never happens, but.
Ambassador role. $500,000 a year for 20 years on the back end.
What are you expecting Thursday out of
that is a
management?
I'm sure we'll get clarity on Keefe. I'm sure we'll get clarity on what the structure, at least who's coming back or who isn't. Nick, one thing I'm trying to figure out is there anything they're up to right now that we just haven't figured out yet?
I had some people say to me, would they ask the NHL about Coach Quenneville?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that specifically, but I would bet there's things like that going on. 100%.
Well,
outside of Quenneville?
Yeah, I bet you they're looking around. Who?
Babs.
Who can we go out there and get?
Yeah.
Who would our targets be?
Do you think the league's ready to let Quenneville back in?
I get mixed messages on it. Number one, I'll say this, Nick. I don't think talking about it. I don't think them talking about it is good for them. I don't think Bettman likes that.
Quenneville, going public.
Yes, I don't think that's good for them. I don't think Bettman likes that. I have sensed at times that the league has felt that they have that Bowman and Quenneville faced a very significant punishment, and that there was time that they be allowed to explain themselves and get another chance, but it's never happened. So at this point, so my answer to that, Nick, is it waivers. There have been times I thought they would be coming back, and there have been other times I've thought that the league just isn't ready. But the one thing I've been kind of told by several different people is they don't think it's a good idea for these guys to have public campaigns for it.
In terms of other people potentially for the Leafs organization, are there any players out there that you think would interest Toronto? I know you had mentioned on your podcast today, I thought Seth Jones came up.
That's more me wondering about that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you know what? You look at the free agent defensemen. First, for one thing is, I'm curious on this blue line. Are they going to bring back Edmondson?
Sure.
Are they going to try to extend McCabe?
He's at 3-2 right now, Edmondson.
Well,
he's going to get a raise.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
he's not going to take a pay cut after pretty much showing people that he could still play.
Yeah, you know, I would be curious to see what that would look like, but I bet you they have interest in bringing him back. I think they're probably going to try to. I think they're going to try to extend McCabe, and I would do that too. I thought he played great for them. So, I think they go after a Tanev, or a Montour or a Brett Pesce.
Tree Living will go right back, and they need. And I've said this for 2.5 years now. They need 2 defensemen.
Yeah, and he'll go after them.
They need. Not 1, but 2. So you go get Tanev, and you go get one other one, and you got a different look.
I could see Montour or Pesce being big on their radar.
So how does the Wall's
and
last
a goalie?
Does Wall's last injury, like, all bets are off on Joseph Wall right now?
You know what? First of all, Nick, he's signed to a great contract. He's at $775 for another year.
Great backup.
Well, I really think they wanted him to prove that he was going to be their number 1 guy. But now the biggest question is if he can stay healthy. Look, Samsonov to me today, that said that, you know, if he wants term, he's not really going to get it here. So, and do you see them coming back with Samsonov Wool next year? I think it's going to be Wool someone else.
It needs to be a veteran. Needs to be someone with some cachet.
I'll tell you this: at the deadline, I heard they were asked a lot about Hildeby, so that leads me to think that he's going to be a player, but I don't think that's yet.
No, you watch. Everybody's going to start digging up Markstrom to Toronto.
Yeah,
you watch, but I can't see it.
Out of the frying pan into the fire from Calgary to
Toronto. Calgary wouldn't trade Tanev here. How are they going to trade Markstrom to Brad Tree Living?
Yeah. Well, tomorrow is the NHL draft lottery.
Oh yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
And does that affect things on your schedule at all? Does anything happen around that time in terms of GMs discussing things, or what's happening this time of year behind the scenes?
Well, now at least people will know where everybody's picking.
Yeah.
You know, one of the teams that really interests me about where they end up in this lottery is Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could be a really fascinating team this offseason.
Yeah.
They got a lot of prospects already, and you can always add another one. You can never have too many. But I wonder. I look at them and a first round pick, and I wonder what they could cook up.
They got a ton of picks. Is Utah going to get weird and try to make a splash with the new owner?
That's a good one. They got a ton of picks. Ottawa's got a decision to make. They got to decide: are we keeping our pick or are we paying the penalty? Mm-hmm. So that's another one that's a really tough one there. I don't like that one for the Senators at all. But there's, I think at least we'll have an idea of where everyone is. You're right. Mm-hmm. That's going to be one nervous lottery tomorrow night. That's Celebrini, man. He is something else. And San Jose, I don't know what Lucky Charms are out in Northern California, but they're digging up all of them right now.
Well, they should be good in 8 to 9 years, so hopefully Celebrini enjoys the beach.
Nice. We're getting a few text messages from Vancouver and Edmonton wondering if Hockey Night in Canada will get canceled now that the Leafs are out, or will you keep going?
That's pretty funny. We're still going. I got to tell you something. So my buddies, I obviously grew up here. I have buddies who really love the Leafs, and they say I'm not enough of a Leaf homer. Yeah. And they were saying to me on Saturday night, they said to me, Elliotte, we've never seen this before. We actually thought you looked like you were going to cry on air. I started laughing. I said, you know me, I root for the Canadian teams. I just want the Canadian teams to do so well. But that one was a gut punch for a lot of people. There's no question about that.
Go Canucks.
Who do you like?
Go Oilers.
Oilers, Canucks, who are you picking?
I like Edmonton still.
How do you, I mean, who's their goalie? Vancouver?
She loves.
Is he...
Buddy, he's confident.
That would be a hell of a story.
Oh my God, incredible story!
Hey?
Yeah, like the kid,
Patrick Waugh, all over again.
Showed big brass ones last round.
Yeah,
so did DeSmith. Both of them.
We look forward to your coverage, my friend.
All right, guys, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Fried.
Elliotte Friedman, Hockey Night in Canada, 32 Thoughts. We'll take a quick break. We'll bring back Sammy for game time, plus more from Real Kyper and Bourne.